Hello Gemini, welcome to your 2021 Release and Receive reading with me, Cindy. So Gem, I'm going to start with an energy oracle deck and I'm going to ask for what the overall energy of 2021 is going to be for you. What is the overall theme energy of 2021? Using the same deck, I'm going to see what you're releasing and what you're receiving in 2021. I am going to go into my Moonology deck and we're going to ask what the most significant emotional moment for you in 2021 is going to be. And then I'm going to continue building up the reading with another oracle deck and a tarot deck. Now, I was debating whether I would do extendeds with these. At first I wasn't going to because I want this reading to be kind of whole and complete for you. 2020 has been a lot of anxiety for a lot of people, a lot of changes, a lot of stress and frustration. I don't want to put like false hope into 2021 because, you know, there's realities that have to be dealt with, but I want this reading to be kind of whole and complete. So the extended that I have created is a success spread. It's a 2021 success spread for you that is kind of outside of this reading itself. So you can go there if you're drawn to it. The link is at the top of the description. Let's do this one, Gemini. The overall energy theme for Gemini in 2021. The overall theme energy for Gemini in 2021. Oh, you're at 4? Whoa, yeah. Whoa, yeah. Interesting. You have 4 cards, so give me a second. You have caring connections, you have anxiety, then you have healer of the ages, and the thinking woman. This is really like kind of Queen of Swords to me, the thinking woman, but which is your energy, so that's good. You're really in your energy. In your mind, you're in your head. You're going to be in your head a little bit. That's at least the overall theme here, but you're in your head about, I feel like something good. It kind of feels like a good thing. So that's okay, right? So don't overthink it too much. Try not to. Maybe that's why you're getting the reading. So we have a caring connection here, but then we have healer of the ages. And then we have, there's the overthinking, there's the anxiety, and then here is you, thinking. thinking. It feels like there's something, obviously, the overall theme for you has something to do with caring, a caring connection or caring connections. Like, it could be, because it is. It is plural. It is connections. So, it's going to be very healing. Let's say 2021 is going to be very healing for you. You know, as I'm looking at this card, his hands, dude looks like Jesus. He looks like Jesus. He's just standing here. And his arms are out at both these here, right? One arm is directed towards the anxiety and one arm is directed towards the thinking woman. What I like about this, what's playing out right here, I'll get into this in a moment, is that it's as if you're going to go through some sort of experience or a period of time in 2021 where if you have points where you overthink and it produces anxiety, like as you just think, you know, you get in your head and you play scenarios out and you think about possibilities. And well, this has always happened in the past, so it could probably happen over here. And well, this person might react this way and then this will happen and that. Before you know it, it's 5 a.m. and you got no sleep. So I see almost like it healing this. Healing your mind. The bridge between you being such, you know, an intelligent, thought-provoking, expansive, intellectual being able to be that without the anxiety. So that's kind of cool. That's actually really cool. Having perhaps more control over your mind, over your thoughts. You heal it. It gets healed. It's healing. Now the caring connection sits over here. I'm going to pull a clarifier on that for you. I'm not 100% sure how that plays out. You could be involved in a caring connection that is giving you anxiety, or you will be involved in a caring connection, or perhaps it's a connection that involves other connections. But there is healing here. There's healing and moving away from anxiety. This caring connection for Gemini. You have the Fool card, the Chariot, and then the Page of Pentacles. It feels a little bit like a caring connection that affects other connections, which is one of the things that came out of my, because there's a leap of faith here for some sort of movement, but there's feels like a younger person involved in this somehow. For you. It's funny, I'm getting, I don't even know if she watches my channel. But I have a close friend who's a Gemini, and she's in a common law relationship, and he has a son from a previous marriage. And it kind of, like, I'm getting that kind of energy here, where there's some sort of a caring connection that affects other connections. So see how that plays. So don't like force a square peg into a round hole if that doesn't make, well, let's see how that works, Cindy. But this is talking about 2021. Some sort of caring connection that you would have. Having that connection affects other connections around you, and it might affect, with the Page of Pentacles, people that are younger than you. But there is healing in this. Healing takes place in 2021. And I like the Thinking Woman because it's, to me, it's kind of like you in your finest. Your heart chakra is open, your mind is clear, there's no conflict. You know, I didn't say it, but oh my God, it's there. I didn't say it, but when I picked up this deck to start using it, that was at the bottom, and there it is. I was going to say no conflict between the head and the heart, because it's a Thinking Woman, it's clear, but there's all this green energy around it, which symbolizes the heart chakra. How crazy is that? What was it telling me? See? So there's definitely healing. So I want to say the overall energy theme for 2021 for you is healing the heart and the mind. So the release for Gemini in 2021. What are they releasing? What will be released for them? You're releasing rest and rejuvenation. That's an interesting one. Maybe you've been resting and rejuvenating enough. Maybe it'll be time in 2021 to be more active, more of a participant in what's going on around you. If you've been pulled back, well, the whole world has kind of been pulled back for most of 2020. You'll be releasing rest and rejuvenation. Oh, okay. I'm hearing, like, so the rest and rejuvenation, like you've been, this healing that is going to happen in 2021, you're putting the building blocks for that in now. Like this. This is the building blocks for that healing. The true healing of the mind and any mind and heart conflict here is becoming more of an active participant in your life. And I always like to say that. To me, anxiety cards like the Nine of Swords, I feel like when the Nine of Swords energy is around, it's because we're not actively doing enough in our lives, or taking control or action or participation in our lives. So we end up in our heads, right? Instead of acting out the scenarios and participating in the scenarios, we think about them. Interesting. So you receive for 2021. That's too many? I'm not even going to look. It's like half the deck. You can't take all that. I heard some Gemini saying, you know, we're making up for lost time, Cindy. Give us half the deck. Receive for 2021. There you go. Ooh, contract. I'm still thinking about my friend, my Gemini friend, because she's engaged now. So this is really like, yeah, you're taking your new, new karmic soulmate contracts. Could be work too. You're really moving into new energy here. New cycles. I'm feeling that too as a reader. I'm being compelled to do a collective reading by the Oak Men of this type of reading, release and receive, because I'm really feeling like, I feel like things are still very contained as a reader moving into 2021 for the collective as a whole, kind of into February and maybe a bit into March. I feel like there's a lot of movement through the rest of the year. I'm kind of feeling like that. And I'm seeing it in the cards, and I keep getting this repeat energy as I read for all of you. So now, don't worry, I'm going to keep building all of this up. Can you see that? You can see it a bit. I need to shuffle. It's going to get in the way. It's sitting up there. So the most significant emotional moment for you in 2021 with my Moonology deck. The most significant emotional moment for you. Like what sort of cycle, circumstance will be creating the most significant emotion in you in 2021? Most significant moment emotionally for Gemini. Sorry. It's like, oh, my hair got caught in the necklace and it got really itchy. Take time to breathe out. Which tells me there are going to be moments where you're kind of holding your breath. The anxiety, right? But it's going to be healed. I think you're going to be learning to release anxiety. You're going to be like releasing things that have made you think about being in your head a lot. You're going to be... I can't help but wonder and think, you know, what's been going on the last year with COVID and restrictions and so on and so forth, that I'm so curious. I should do a poll. I think I will do a poll on my community channel. I just imagine for myself that fire signs and air signs may find it outside of Aquarius. Aquarius might be okay with the because they got a lot going on, imagination and stuff in their head. But I feel like the fire signs and the air signs would have the most difficulty with, because they tend to be very action and passionate and movement and like that. But and I'm wondering if the water signs and the earth signs have been, you know, it's been a good time. It's a good time for everyone to get grounded. But if they're kind of naturally, and I've noticed the earth and the water signs around me, they're really like blossoming in this, and the fire signs and the air signs are a little bit, so I feel like too, in some parts, 2021 feels like to me, energy will be shifting, momentum will be kind of back. I don't know, I want to say like March or April. Something really funny came out in the Aries reading last week where I just blurted out April 13th, and I don't know why. I don't know what that is. Maybe that's kind of an energy shift. But I think you're going to start kind of like exhaling. At some point in 2021, this is going to be a very more, like your feelings, your heart, your mind, things will come to a rest. They'll come to an even understanding between one another. Because breathing can also be controlled in this state. Like rest and rejuvenation. It can take some time to practice releasing your air, releasing your breath, taking a deep inhalation, releasing it, allowing it all to come out. And this can be a practice, something that you've been practicing too. So step out of your comfort zone, the North Node. If you've been comfortable too in this, you're going to be stepping out of it. Oh, that's interesting. At the bottom you have the man holding the heart is at the bottom. I can't help but feel for some of you, I am really getting with this contract card and the caring connection with the Fool, the Chariot, and the Page of Pentacles, that some of you may be in a position to combine two families. Like I said, that friend of mine who's a Gemini is coming into my head. And some people say, oh, you're just doing a reading for her. I don't actually think she watches the channel. I think that's coming to my mind because it's telling me like what this could be for some of you. So now I'm going to go into my Elki She-Who Oracle deck and ask why this release. Why this receive for you? Jeez. Oh my God, did that ever get released? Oh shit. Oh my God. It's like, just give me a second. Holy cow. It's sliding across the floor like ice on butter. Like ice on butter, baby. That card is flying. Wow. She who doubts, fear, wariness, and trust. You're releasing that. Did you see how that flew? Not only did it fly, and it kind of landed here. So I reached, and as soon as I touched it, it literally flew across the floor that way. Whew. Really releasing. Like I said, anxiety. Like you're bringing that into balance. If there's things that you've been overthinking and worried about, the rest and rejuvenation has been paving the path for you on that, with that. Oh, you know, when I see the trust card come out too, and it's easy to say, but in practice, yes, we have to work on it. Is if we're not sure if we can trust people, or, you know, if you meet someone, I don't know if I want to completely open up to them yet and be friends with them and see, you know, how much of myself I invest in this, or even potential romantic partners, work colleagues, all levels of, you know, meeting people, and do I trust, how much of myself do I trust sharing with this person or giving to this person? It really comes down to trusting yourself. Once you trust yourself fully and wholly, and that is knowing when you pull out, when you create your boundary, okay, like let things be free flowing, allow yourself to meet new people, to get out there and just see where things go, but trusting yourself that you're going to make the right choices and judgments. That's really what it comes down to. Like if we're still trying to figure out if we trust other people, we're still working on how much we trust ourselves and making those judgments, and how we draw those boundaries and how we exercise that. So why this receive? The contract. Why this receive? The contract? Receive. The contract. Why is this being received? She who waits. Patience, waiting, and determination. Because you've put in the time. You've put in the time. That's why this is coming in. So for some of you, if you have been doing all your work on self, really, like, because that's what this comes down to for me. The fear, the wariness, and the trust. You're releasing that now to the universe because you're confident in, you trust yourself. You've put the work in. I feel like you've been patient. You've shown determination in achieving what it is you would like to achieve for yourself. You've been patient to watch seeds that you've planted, to watch them start to grow. You've put nurturing into how you've been slowly paving your future, and it's bringing you towards some sort of new commitment here. I should probably just pull out some cards, right? Like the contract can be many, many different things. It can be work. It can be work contracts. It can be a new job. It can be, I want to say like a promotion. It can be soulmate contracts. It can be new friendships that you're going to go into in 2021. And you're going to be in these for quite a period of time if it's a contract. You've made some sort of, it's destined. It's like a destined meeting. And I don't mean that, well, the stars control us. And no, we have quite a bit of control in our lives. And I really do believe that we make soulmate contracts with people before coming to this lifetime. And there are many souls that are connected with us. And those are some souls that you're going to be going towards. This could also be like something legal. Like, I do feel for some of you combining two families together, because there's somehow it affects someone younger. So let's ask. Let's ask about the contract. The contract card, the receive here. What is this contract of? The High Priestess, the Five of Cups, the Two of Swords, and the Knight of Pentacles. Boy, yeah, you need patience. You definitely need patience with whatever this contract is that's coming in. Still not feeling like I'm being told clearly, because it probably is very open depending on who is coming to the reading. So there isn't anything to say, it's a romantic contract, it is a work contract, it is a promotion. With the High Priestess, it's definitely something that you maybe do not see coming, or you don't anticipate it. Your intuition will tell you about it. There's been disappointment in the past, at least with similar contracts, I want to say. There's been disappointment in the past with similar contracts. You may have some indecision here, but if you, look, I love that you have the Knight of Pentacles, because you are receiving this if you are patient and you wait and you have determination. This contract will come to you. Perhaps it's disappointing. You've been disappointed if it's a romantic soulmate and you've been waiting years. I'm never going to find the person, Cindy. I've kind of given up. I don't know. I really feel like, though, but you will be indecisive. You will show some indecision. Maybe it doesn't move fast enough for you, because patience and waiting and determination is going to be... I don't know, I feel like that might be the last thing some people want to hear after 2020. But the bottom, she who forgives, remorse, guilt, and forgiveness. Oh, I feel like that's releasing a lot of a heaviness that you may put upon yourself, though, with the anxiety and the fear, wariness, and trust. You know, it's also an exercise in kind of going over, and that might be a bit of how anxiety plays out here, kind of going over, you know, maybe there are points in times where you did not initiate clear boundaries, or you maybe either allowed people to take advantage of you, you invested more than maybe you should have after a period of time in something when you could see that there was absolutely no payout, no reciprocity. It's an exercise in forgiving those people. It's an exercise in forgiving yourself, and it's an opportunity to learn, right? So that you can have confidence moving forward and not feel like, well, all romantic relationships end up that way. All friends end up taking advantage of me, and they're always good time friends, and they're never there when things get really rough. Or, you know, anywhere I work, the boss always takes full advantage of me and doesn't really care. You know, it's, if you get into that mindset, you're never going to have good opportunities coming towards you, because the groundwork isn't being done to figure out how you could have done things differently, and not looking at it in terms of to feel guilty about it, but well, how do I learn from that and apply that moving forward, right? This is a very analytical reading. Kind of like that. All right, so let's get into the tarot. Let's get into the tarot. the release and the receive. Release and the receive. Oh, interesting message. For some of you, I'm getting with the Fool, the Chariot, and the Page of Pentacles with this carrying connections. For some of you, I'm actually receiving the message that if you've had difficulty, you or your partner becoming pregnant, or you've been trying to adopt, that very might well be happening for you in 2021. I was about to split the deck and get ready, and then the message just came through with the Fool, the Chariot, and the Page of Pentacles. Like there's been some anxiety around this, of either having your own child or adopting a child. It might be adopting too, because it does feel like somehow, yeah, anyway, I've already said it. I'm not going to keep saying it, sorry. But that's interesting. All right. All right. I really see it there. Oh, yeah. Oh, we got the Hermit at the bottom. Okay, I'm just going to say, you know what? I think it's good, though. Poor Zeta. I think it's good just to have some forewarning going forward. That what I really do see here, I'm just going to say it very clearly. I do see a period of time for you where it seems like kind of waiting. I don't know what you're waiting for in the future, but you're definitely waiting. You're being patient. While you're doing that, you are manifesting. You're still continuing to manifest. And, you know, I like to see the Magician as kind of to me as like Gemini energy. So I do see you in your energy, but in a very, a little bit hidden, like really working on something here. But you are being patient. And I'm only saying it because you got the Four of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles. Or the Page of Pentacles. Oh, that Page of Pentacles again. But you're being very patient and very grounded with what you're going to be receiving, because what you're receiving, I don't feel like is coming in super fast for you. But it is coming in, and it's really good if you're patient, because you got the Star at the very end. The healing is like a totally healed cycle. Very, very healed. You're healed. Moving into the Magician, moving into the Star. If you are patient in the first part of 2021, there is a very beneficial, healthy, happy possibilities of a lot more future growth waiting for you. Like, it's a very good, whatever this is you're waiting for, it's still kind of a little murky. Now, okay, so the release, you have the Hierophant, the Hanged Man, the Nine of Cups, and the Two of Pentacles. I feel like with the Hierophant and the Hanged Man that if you've been spending a lot of time trying to understand things outside of you, how things function and work, how the government, how, why, I don't know. Like, you can spend a lot of time looking at all of that, and it can frustrate you, it can like, give you anxiety. Even things, higher committed connections that you're in, if you've been spending time like really looking at these, like all this stuff kind of outside of you and trying to understand it, I feel like you're going to kind of release that and let it go. And the focus becomes more on your internal happiness. Actually, no. This is actually, it's almost like the catalyst to your internal happiness. It's no longer trying to understand things outside of you that have so much depth, so much history, so much background that you really could never truly understand these things. That is what allows your happiness to come in. Kind of like focusing more on yourself instead of trying to balance all these different elements. It's really like, I'm just going to stay in my lane. I'm going to stay in my lane. I'm going to focus on the things that I can change in myself, of myself, for myself, is what kind of starts to happen there for you. And that's interesting with the fear, the weariness, and the trust. She who doubts. Yeah, really. Really coming into your own, like seeing for yourself. There is a tiny bit with the Nine of Cups, and because the anxiety card is here and the fear and doubt, I do feel like early in 2021, you're going to be working on a little bit of self, like reclaiming the it feels like there might be a bit of a hiccup. You might feel a little down as you're releasing these things, but it sets you up to heal it all. It really does set you up to heal it all. And you know what? January and February are really shitty anyways. Like a bit of a down period. And now that brings us into the receive, which, okay, so I kind of feel like a repeat, overlapping energy with your release and your receive. So here's the patience part. Here's the patience part. And you may also need to focus on someone who's younger than you with the Page of Pentacles. So here twice now in this caring connection. There's something that you may need to focus on, like really being patient, determined. It's all coming, this is all of this card is really coming through for me here. This can also be your own inner child. It's definitely some young, youthful element here. If it's external, it's someone around you. And if you have no one like that around you, it's your inner child. Giving the patience and the time for the healing to be able to move forward. And then when you do that, it's really like two major arcana, the Magician and the Star. Manifesting that the healing cycle has ended. I'm really feeling like your healing cycle will have ended. And you will be in a position both emotionally and mentally to manifest exactly where you would like to start taking your life. And I feel like that takes you with these contracts. Yeah, see the Hermit. Oh gosh, darn. The Hermit, the Three of Swords is at the bottom. There's still into 2021. There's still some healing that's going to take place for you. And I do think that you start to look at you internal. If you feel like you've been hurt in the past by like kind of this Hierophant energy, because the Hierophant represents, you know, it can represent a lot of heavy stuff. I get a lot of emails from people in Indigenous communities. I have to say it's pretty much North America. I don't really get emails outside of North America. But I get a lot of emails, like I had a really touching one the other day talking about trying to heal family. And, you know, the Hierophant can represent, you know, things that have been done in the past, thinking they were good at the time. And removing families from one another. And there can be a lot of, that can go on generational, like talking about, you know, her grandmother being taken to the schools and being pulled away from their culture and their families And then it's kind of resulted in a generation that now has no culture. They've lost a lot of it. They've lost all the lessons that were passed down in terms of helping to create happy families and healthy and stable families after that. So the lovely woman who wrote to me was saying that, you know, she's really trying to change this, right? Her mother had difficulty, and now she's really trying to heal all of this. That's, I mean, the Hierophant, yes, has an importance in our world, in our community. It can symbolize schools. It can symbolize the government, the police force, the military, the churches, all of that. And there's a lot of good that comes out of it. It creates structure and order, but it can create a lot of pain. So I am feeling like there's possibly been a lot of looking at the Hierophant for a lot of the pain that's been created. And at some point realizing I can't change that. All I can change is what goes on inside me and how I see myself and how much strength and trust I'm willing to give me, because that's how this gets healed with the Hermit, right? So yeah, there are definitely some people that come to these readings that have some very, very heavy experiences with Hierophant energy. And I'm getting a little bit of that, like, you know, having spent a lot of time looking at it and trying to get resolution through it, and just realizing, you know, the only resolution that I really need is with me, deep inside. What was at the bottom of this deck? We have the Five of Swords. And then it's reversed. The Five of Swords. There might be some things in 2021 that you need to end at all costs. There might be some things that you don't need to end at all costs. So take some time. Once you find the trust in yourself that it looks like you're really going to create in 2021, I think you'll be able to make really clear decisions about anything that you need to clearly walk away from and remove yourself from fully, unequivocally. And other things where, well, okay, I trust myself in this. I trust myself creating a boundary when I need to create it. There you go. There you go, Gemini. Thank you so much, guys. I am going to go do the extended. Like I said, the link is at the top of the description if you're drawn to it. I do wish every one of you, regardless of what 2021 brings, a healthy, happy, prosperous, fulfilling, loving, stable, grounded new year. I forgot to say that to Taurus, so I'm adding it to Taurus too. I did it in their extended though. Until next time, do be gentle with yourselves. Bye.